Okay. Live on StreamYard, Instagram. Here we come. Oh yeah, we live. We are officially live.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Today we have a wonderful, beautiful guest in the building today. And before we
Whoop,
get
whoop.
into it, it's only right that I actually introduce with the proper introduction. So here it is.
Here it is.
Here it is. Here it is. Today we have a very special guest on our 13th episode of the Respectfully Great podcast. Someone who has supported me and my brand since the inception. She's the author of the book, The Joy of My Pain, founder of Supermom Missions Inc., a nonprofit organization, the voice of Lady Q on the WBLS radio station, The Plug, and most importantly, the mother of a young king himself, TJ. I am proud
Woo.
to give a big round of respect to my sister, Shaquasia Quay Brooks. Welcome, sis.
Thank you for having me. Okay.
Come on, let's talk about it. Claps in the
Okay.
background. Let's get it. Absolutely. That's my little soundboard. I gotta get more intricate
I
with it. Right
like
now, I
it.
just hit the one button just to get it going. You feel me? That's the round
I
of
like it.
applause. So instead of saying, people, I say, give them a warm welcome of warm round of respect because I feel like we always gotta lead with the respect. The respect is primary, and respectfully great is the brand. You are repping the brand. Let's shout out. When I'm talking about support, do you see what she got on? The respectfully great salmon. Come on, man. Let's talk about it.
Wait, let me
Talk
just
about it.
give a disclaimer.
Come
Let me
on.
give a disclaimer
Talk about it.
because people have a thing that they
Yeah.
don't like wearing the same. I don't even think I wear the same thing twice on social media. However,
Talk about it.
y'all gonna see this again because y'all gotta see the pants. Y'all gotta see. So y'all gonna see this again. So
Please do
just
so.
letting you know. But I
Mandatory.
had to wear it today.
Big repping. I love you for that. I appreciate you for that. It's super. I'm super pumped and super ecstatic because there's a lot of things. First of all, on our platform, you are the first woman on our platform.
Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Wow.
that's a
Thank
super
you.
dope accomplishment. On our 13th episode, we actually have a female entrepreneur, proud black woman on our platform, and it's a testament to where we are trying to go and build our platform and what are we doing. We have not just anybody on here. It's somebody that I really admire, look up to for many reasons, and I get in detail about that because there's a journey that you have gone through that I've seen, that I've witnessed, that I've from the outside looking in, been around, seen it from so many different angles, and see
Yeah.
the woman, how you came, see the woman that you came to fruition to be and mature, and your business acumen. When I always highlight that because this is a platform for growth and development, but a lot of times we have a lot of people that come on the platform that are entrepreneurs, and I really
Right.
want to highlight that because when you see these faces, I want people to get more familiar with okay, these people that are up here have business savvy. Not only are they business savvy, they took risks. They took risks on themselves. And a lot
Yeah.
of times we are afraid to get outside of those boxes because we dealt with a lot of you can't do that. You're not worthy of. You don't have the talent. You don't have the looks. You don't have the money. You
Look
don't have
at
the
you making me
finances.
tear up so
Yeah,
early. Okay.
nah. Yeah, man, because it's a beautiful thing. And not only that, I read your book not once. When I read books, funny thing, I learned this method from Dr. Ali Muhammad, and he says when he read books, he first read the book once, and then the
Hmm.
second time he reads the book, he highlights the book, and then the third time he reads the book, he actually takes the information from his book, from the book that he finished reading, and he puts the book in another book to where he take out key components, points, etc. So the funny thing is, as you can see, I don't know if the viewers can see, this is the book right here.
Yay.
You feel me? The Joy of My Pain. Actually, within the book, I also, I don't know if you can see the highlights. Maybe the lighting is a little off.
Yeah.
The lighting can't really see. Okay, a little bit,
Oh,
something's
I
there,
see it.
a little bit. But throughout the
Yeah.
book, that's what I do, and I found a lot of things that I wanted to really expound about. Just
Hmm.
your journey, along with allowing people to be come within and be able to have the dialogue from man to woman, woman to man, woman to child, and have an open forum to where we can talk about building families and community. Because it's one of those things where we see ourselves pretty much divided a lot, and it's because
Yeah.
of some of the stigmas that we have grown up with. A lot of times we haven't grown up in the best environments. We haven't had the best guidance. Some of our role models that we looked up to, they were programmed wrong. So we got to,
Yeah.
you know, deprogram and remove that data and start downloading new data. And the beauty of having some of the resources that we have around, um, it allows us to grow and flourish in some of those areas. So when I read your story, besides knowing you, I'm like, wow, I didn't know she was going through that. I didn't know she experienced that.
Yeah.
And to see, when I see you, it's always a smile. And these are the things where you
Yeah.
we kind of take for granted because we think that somebody smiling is an indication of everything is all good, and not knowing that the inside is where a lot of the pain dwells. And we want to be able to bring those things out, not harp on the pain, but understand you could use those things as tools to get us from point A to point B, and let the other people know that no, I look like you. I've gone through struggles, some maybe not as severe and severe,
Right.
and I want to let you know that you can overcome that. You can overcome that by trusting in you first and foremost, trusting in yourself, and then getting around some surrounding environments. When you mentioned something in your book about tribes, that's the
Mhm.
things where I love to highlight, because you need a tribe. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and you having a child now, and we see we were once children, and us being children, we got to figure out, okay, well, what guidance is, who did I look up to, my influences, what media was around, what people that I played with in the playground, what roles did these people play in my life. And sometimes we don't want to have the conversation, and I
Right.
really I look super forward to this, because I think this is where we can be fully transparent and have the open forum about your shared experience, my experience, and how we can come together and just build dynamic families, because that's what it's all about. We are here now in real time, and we know that our children are the future, our nieces, our nephews, our sons, daughters,
Yeah.
etc. So if we can pour into some of the things that we missed out on, I know it's gonna lead a better and a stronger future for them, because now they got some type of guidance on a positive note. I know a lot of times people around us just did what they thought was right, and if they were misguided, that's just what we get. And
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but sometimes that's how the cards are dealt, and we just gotta play. We gotta just play the hand that was dealt to us. So super long with it. You know,
It's okay.
right? Super long with it.
It's
But
okay.
before we jump into anything, how are you feeling today?
I am great. I was excited about doing this because, as you know, I do interviews, but believe it or not, I'm shy. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
like talking like this,
Correct.
but it's you. And also, we got to let everybody know, like, I've literally known you since I was 14 years old.
Absolutely.
Like, we're 37, 38 now, and we've
Yep.
known each other since we were 14. So
Yep.
it's like a big deal for me because I feel like you need to support your people.
Correct.
And just to see you doing this, it's like it means a lot. So I'm proud of you, and I'm happy and honored that you have me here. Because, like I said, we've known each other since we were teenagers. So it's like, it's special for me to be here. So I was looking forward to this. So I had a good day.
Oh man, beautiful. I'm happy. Ooh, don't make me tear up. Hold up. Don't make me don't make me drop one.
Yes.
Oh man, super dope. Let's get into it. Let's take people back that don't know Shaquasia Quay, right?
Okay.
Um, back in the day, early childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, bring us there. What type of child were you? I mean, we know that shy from what
Yeah.
we know, but it's hard to tell because you have a presence, not only on social media, but you have an aura and an energy around you that has tremendous amount of support. People love and support you in so many ways, and women show up for you. So it's like hearing that you say that you were shy, and then
Mm-hmm.
we look at your social media, and we get an insight like, well, she's around celebs, she's around radio
Everybody think I'm
personnel.
lit.
Come on, but in all actuality, you are. But we want to know early childhood. How were you as a child?
Quiet. a loner. I was an only
Mm-hmm.
child, so I
Only
was like
child.
a loner. Um, just always staying to myself, like in the room reading books, like very quiet loner. But what's crazy is that even as a kid, like I didn't want to do like I never had dreams to be like a nurse, a doctor. Like I always wanted to do something in entertainment. Like
Mm-hmm.
from young, I was always looking up bios of artists, and I would get the little CD thing, and I was reading the credits of the
Mm.
producers and all that stuff as a kid. Like I was so weird. Um,
Now,
now that I think about it, but yeah, that's what I did. Like I always wanted to do something in entertainment. Like I was always fascinated with the entertainment industry.
were there any people that you looked up to at that age to say, you know what, I'm inspired to be like he, she, whoever at the time that push you to
Well,
that
believe
level?
it or not, when I was younger, because my older uncle, he was in the music industry.
Mm.
So when I was younger, I saw people like I saw like Rakim, So For Real, like people like that. But then, believe it or not, when I moved to Glen Cove, I never forget when I saw Ashanti
Mm-hmm.
um, on our high school wall because she
Mm-hmm.
used to run track.
Absolutely.
And at the time, remember, she was big,
Huge.
2002. We was really doing it. And
Or
I remember seeing her from our town, this girl coming from our town. That made me be like, okay, I could do something from seeing
yeah,
her, be successful.
that is
It
dope.
was it was so weird because remember I came there like as a teen, so I
Correct.
didn't grow up there, whatever. So it was like all of y'all knew her already, so she was
Yeah.
just the girl from the town. So when I came and I saw her on the wall, I remember asking somebody like, "Isn't that the girl that sings Always on Time?" And they was like, "Yeah, that's Ashanti," like because she was regular
Correct. Correct. Correct.
to y'all. So I was like, wow. So then just seeing her like, she shot the happy video out there and like we was around all this
Yeah.
stuff. That was like that made me really be like, okay, I could do it.
Absolutely. That's dope because
Yeah.
entertainment. For when I was younger, I always used to dance to James Brown. So when
Wow.
I love music. So music is in my household always been the house to where everybody could come, everybody's welcome. So my mom always had almost like an open door policy, even up to this
Yeah.
day. There's so many people that constantly be on the phone with her, coming to the home, etc., popping in on her, just checking on her. And my mom used to throw tremendous parties. So it was really, really, really like entertaining. So people would come over, family
Yeah.
members, friends, barbecues with crazy block parties, etc. So music was a thing. My mom used to wake up, bump the music. Even now, I go to her home. She's like, "Listen, Johnny, I was just listening to music for the last 3 4 hours," and that's her thing. That's her peace.
Yeah.
That's her serenity, and she finds a lot of enjoyment listening to music. So when it comes to music, very early
Music
on,
is everything.
music is everything, and we don't really know how much it impacts us in so many ways. The way we like listen, I love funk, so even though I rap and I've done things along that nature, but when I hear the boom bat boom boom bat boom, like that cadence of
Yeah.
like funk, I love it unconditionally. And I remember when I was younger, we were talking about the music industry. I remember dancing around my mom's living room and having my mom. They would hype me up, so I would get super entertained when my aunts and Robin and my aunt Gina and all my aunts, they used to be like, "Okay, Johnny, do the James Brown." And Robin tell me, my aunt Robin, she'll tell me to this day right now, "Oh, John, remember you used to do the James Brown?" And I go there and do my little two things. But the music, being around the industry, we don't know how influential that thing is. And you having an uncle that was in the industry, you coming around some of these prominent figures and you seen them in real time, even though
Yeah.
these celebs, I know that gave you the believability to say, you know what, one day I can grow up and be in the space.
Absolutely. My lashes is bothering me, people, so pardon me.
All good, all good. Don't worry about it. This is a no judge zone over here. They better not judge. They better
I
not.
have to be like, what's wrong with this girl? No, it's my lashes. I'm
It's
sorry.
all good. Now they better not judge. They better judge free zone over here. So that's a beautiful thing. I know. Were you ever in it? So you read a lot, right? 'Cause you read a lot.
Yes.
And what led you to be an avid reader? I know. So you by yourself. Finding that a lot of alone time. Did you find
Right.
that as a way to have connection with something other than another person that's not around, like
Yeah,
fantasy
because
type of
it
books?
was. Go ahead. What were you gonna
No, no,
say?
no, no. I'm listening. I just, cause
Um, it was literally to this day, I don't watch TV. Like as a
mm,
kid, again, it was weird. I didn't watch TV. So it was either books or music in the headphones.
yeah,
And and it's still the same thing. Like I don't watch TV. I don't read as much now because I'm super busy, but
yeah.
music is like everything to me. And it's weird because I can listen to songs and I hear certain like different sounds that I guess
Mm,
maybe the regular ear might not hear. Like I
right.
hear, the instruments and stuff like that. And I remember there was a song. I don't remember what song it was, but it was on the radio. And it just sounded like it was a popular song, and I remember they always used to play it, and I never forget. It sounded slowed down, but it wasn't like an obvious. Like I feel like the regular person wouldn't have noticed. It was an
Mm,
obvious. Like it was just something I heard, and I'm like, wait a minute, this used to be like da 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 da, da, now it's like da da da, and the radio station wound up saying like it was something going on like with the thing, but it was like I heard it or whatever. It's so weird. I have like this thing with music.
yeah, you know what though? I don't want to. It's not weird. It's you, and I know the reason why I'm super conscientious of it because a lot of times we give a lot of words power, and we know that, and a lot of times we associate some of the things that we say and do.
Yeah.
It takes on a life of its own, and I find myself doing it a lot too. And I remind,
Well, you do music, so you know too.
oh, for
Like you
sure,
kind of
absolutely,
understand. And I
absolutely,
remember, I remember buying your like CD and you
CD,
shipped
yeah,
it to my house years ago.
years ago, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
remember that.
this
Yeah.
this is why I say that you've been a supporter since the inception, since the very very beginning, and those type
You
of things.
too. You
Absolutely,
too.
absolutely. But you know,
Yeah.
it's just that frequency. We always constantly exchanging it, and the thing is, we grow from that. And the thing is that
Yeah.
you able to give and receive, and that's how our blessings come, and we keep that currency going. Even when it's about money, money is just a form of currency, which is energy. And the more and more we keep pouring into one another, it's gonna take on another life of its own to bear so
Yeah.
much greater things. Because a lot of times we got poured into us some of the things that wasn't really conducive for us. I know there's some things that were poured into me. I thought even at a young as a young kid that I thought were cool, and then I started to realize
Right.
as I got older, yo, what type of person are you trying to be? And the reason being is I kept trying to fit in. So when I had these conversations, I know there were some things, even though I had my own identity, I came from
Right.
a loving family. I had siblings. I had an older sister, younger brother to look after, middle child. So I had a lot of cousins, a lot of female cousins. It's crazy because when you mentioned in the book about Shatira, it's crazy. And I'm like, so because the other day on off topic, I end up tried to call her, and I think I had the wrong number or the old number. Because I haven't talked to her in a long time,
Right.
and I tried to call the number, and I left a text message, and I don't know if somebody else received it or whatnot. But then mentioning some of the friends and people that we grew up around, like when I was
And
just
that's
mentioning
still my best friend to this day.
how crazy is that, right? Long time
Yeah.
friends. It's a beautiful thing to have familiarity. A lot of times when you don't have some of the same friends, everybody. I mean, there are people learn and grow, but when you're
Right.
able to hold on to one or two friends that you say, you know what, I remember this person being around, supporting me, loving me unconditionally, no matter who I was then, and still be able to see my growth and they grow as well, to where we both can share the same space of appreciation for who we became and who we were. I think it's such a beautiful thing because a lot of times we
Yeah.
get talk to me.
Because not to cut you
No,
off,
no.
I feel like, and you have, you know, businesses, been had businesses, so you understand this too, but you gotta understand like support usually comes from people that aren't close to you. The people
Mm-hmm.
close to you, they don't support you. Like it's
Yep.
really, people. So it's like when I have people that, like how I see it is, I have no problem going out buying Gucci, buying Versace. Why would I not buy respectfully great somebody that supports me, somebody, that I grew up with? So it's just like when I have businesses that more of my books, for example, were sold from people that don't even know me like that, never
Yeah.
even met them, as opposed to people that I know. There's people that I literally speak with on a daily that still haven't bought my book.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just like, so I really, really appreciate when people that I know personally support me. Like even years ago, when you showed up to my movie screening, that
Absolutely.
meant a lot to me because I was like,
Absolutely.
I haven't seen him in years. We grew up together, and there was plenty of people in the building, but that was
Indeed.
special to me because I was like,
Absolutely.
I grew up with him, like, so it's just like people that that support you is, but on the flip side, you have to realize that most people that aren't, so you can't let it get to you. You can't, get upset about it because
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
That's the
Like,
way it is.
I learned the hard way. That's just the way it is. People close to you, a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times, they're not gonna be the ones to support you.
No. Nope. And I think a lot of times it's because we deal with a lot of people. Clarissa Shields said, um, she said this, right. I was watching something, and she said that people don't want what you give them; they want what you have.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
when I heard it, it sat me back in my seat because we hear people, some people loosely throw around the term they hating this, etc. And a lot of
yeah,
times the support may not come from those angles because a lot of times people they want you to do good, not just as good as them. And then when she said that, like when she done things for people in her life, she said no
yeah,
matter how much she gave them, it wasn't about the things that they received. They just want her
yeah.
life.
They
And
were
it's
still
like
ungrateful.
still ungrateful. And these are
Yeah,
the things where we pick up more gratitude and say, you know what? I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative to have the people that are around me. One of my coaches, Coach Lucky, always
yeah,
says, pick your clients, pick your business partners, declare everything that you want in your life, declare it. And make that known to the universe that no, I want this particular type of client. I want this particular type of friend. I want this particular type of child. I want this particular type of job environment. I want this
right,
particular business venture partner, etc. Because it makes the difference of how you navigating throughout this world, so you know what to look for. Things show up sometimes when we settle for anything, we get anything, and we say, you know what, I'm
absolutely.
just I take anything, and a lot of times we don't got to settle for scraps. We don't. We can put a price tag on what we want to declare into our lives, and I'm learning to do that as well because I should say, I mean, is what it is because I'm gonna take it on the chin type of person and say, you know what, whatever shortcomings I have, I'm gonna figure it out because that's what I
Yeah,
always been doing, and it gets kind of frustrating when you're doing business because you would think that, hey, you not pocket watching, but you see what's going on around you, and you say, wow, um balling out of control in the Gucci store, in the Louis Vuitton store, and you here have something of value, something that you value,
yeah,
and you would think that it would come from some of these sources, and it don't, and then you feel some type of way. But
absolutely.
the way you get over that, what he helped me do is saying, you know what, that's not my type of client because my client values me. So the people that come show up and support me is the ones that love me unconditionally. So I don't got to worry about the sometimey. Whoever's sometimey, you can be that. No pun intended. It's just at the end of the day, you're not ideal to play that other role in my life. So when it comes to things that you got going on in yours, no pun intended, I shouldn't declare myself to be that role in your life if you're not willing to declare a space like that in mine. I
Yeah,
find these things to be super, super valuable because there was a quote by Darius Daniels too. He's a big preacher down in Atlanta, and he was saying something along the lines that you're entitled to say no, say yes, and you're entitled to change your opinion. If today I say yes and tomorrow I feel like no, I'm entitled to do that. A lot of times
absolutely.
yeah, a lot of times we feel so constricted on holding on to ideals and beliefs.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Yeah,
Um, yeah, because I saw a quote today, actually, that it basically said, like lowering your price doesn't get you more clients, it just gets you the wrong ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that because, a lot of times, again, close people may ask you for discounts. And
Correct.
again, they wouldn't go to Gucci or somewhere and ask them for a discount,
Not at
but
all.
because they know you, they will ask you for a discount. So they was just like, no, don't lower your price. Like, that's not,
Mm-mm.
going to get you more. Like, no, it's going to get you the wrong people. That's just
Absolutely.
not your clientele.
Absolutely. So true. You doing so much work, right? Um, Entrepreneurship. Uh, I was reading before we get too down the line. Um, in the work environment, in the field, when you start getting your hands dirty and start going out there in the world and figuring things out of how you want to support yourself, there were some times where you came up and where you felt like my integrity may be compromised. And this was one of the times where we was talking about something along the pregnancy lines, right? When you was working and hey, I sacrificed. My son was in the hospital, and I sacrificed 3 days. My baby father and my moms, they went to the hospital. They held him down. They took care of him,
Mhm.
and I still showed up to work. But then the time that I actually had a real another
Yeah.
emergency, and I had to get up out of there, and I called thinking that these people will have some type of sentiment, some type of conscience to say, you know what, she's a hard worker. She show up when day, she stay late, she show up early, she do all these
Yeah.
things, and they don't respect you in that manner and say, you know what, hey, you still got a job to do. And you don't show up on time, you get in the boot. How did you manage and feel around that time where you felt like, working environment, you was kind of like in the middle? Do I pick my family? Do I pick my job? How did that make you feel?
Well, first of all, it's a horrible situation because that boss was a female. That's
Mm,
number one, a female with kids.
wow.
Um, so that's horrible. But it's kind of like it was hard because she literally like looked at me and was like, you're gonna have to make a choice
Wow.
because I need somebody that's gonna come in and like whatever. And I told
Correct.
her to her face like it's gonna always be my son first. Like
Yep.
I'm not sitting here saying I resign because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, like I have a son, so I
Absolutely.
have you know what I'm saying. So prior to me having my son though, I don't care. Like I would be like, all right, bye. Like,
Deuces.
whatever. Yeah, like I didn't care. But I'm not like that anymore because I
Yeah.
have him. So
Absolutely.
I had to eat that.
Yeah.
But I did let her know, like, listen,
True.
I'm not saying because she wanted me to physically say, like, I quit, I resign.
Mm,
But it was like it's nothing she could do if I didn't say that. Like I
absolutely.
didn't say that.
Nope.
Um but I did tell her, like, and if it happens again, like if he gets sick again, I'm gonna go again. Like, it
Absolutely.
is what it is. He comes
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. Did that fuel you to pick up more of your or more of like, okay, I really got to get my entrepreneurship in line? Did that fuel you to go out there and
Yeah.
say, you know what, I got to hustle bustle on my off time to make these other businesses work to your favor or your advantage? Did that fuel you?
Yeah, and it's crazy because I still think that way. Like I
Yeah.
still have a 9 to 5, which that's another misconception. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't think I have a 9 to 5. Like I have a nine to
Yeah.
five.
You and me
Um,
both.
and it's like um I have to do what I have to do until, everything pops. So
Absolutely.
now, though, currently I am in the mindset like, okay, I got to make something happen because I'm not going to be having to go to work when my son is sick or even when I'm sick. Like, there's
Yeah.
times I'm really sick and it's, the same boss is just like, okay, well, you got to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now I'm currently in that mindset, like, okay, I really gotta, and honestly,
Yeah.
because I'm very, very honest,
Correct.
a lot of things haven't went as fast for me or I'm not here because of me.
Mm-hmm.
My consistency like needs to get
Mm.
better. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So it's really I have nobody to blame but me. Like I
Yeah.
have the resources to do a lot of things.
Correct.
I'm just not consistent. So I'm trying to get better with that because I gotta get out of here.
Absolutely. All it is
Yeah.
is a mindset shift, and there's things that we all experience. My thing, I'm a last minute person, so when I do things, I'm last minute. I have a lot of time
Yeah.
to do things, and I find out the distractions. I hear it all the time, and I constantly say it because I know that's one of my things where I get led astray too. Um, yours may be consistency. Mine
Yeah.
may be dealing with prioritizing on what's priority. A lot of times I put some things in front of what I need to do. And a lot of times what I'm learning to do is saying, you know what? Hey, on this date, this time blocking, cutting the phone off, this, that.
Yeah.
Only thing I'm doing is this. Me and my cousin Black was having a conversation and we was just regular jogging, building, and we was talking to one another and we was like, yo, because he's a serial entrepreneur. He does 99 things, right? He has businesses, he has shops, he has car rental service right now, many
Yeah.
vehicles, affordable rentals. Shameless plug. Go check out affordable rentals, man. Big plug right there. But when I talked to him, I'm like, yo, bro, like for me, I was like, I don't think I ever took a whole full day without no distractions, cut down and really locked in on my work. He said, you know what,
Right.
Cuzzo? He said, I don't think I've ever done it either. He said, like, and we in the beauty of these things shows that hey, we still can get things done, but imagine if we actually devoted double the amount of
Yes.
time.
But
What can we get out of it? Talk to me.
this is the thing.
I'm
This is the
listening.
thing. And it's not justifying anything.
Correct.
However, you always hear stories of, people now that's huge that they say, okay, I took my last $1,000 and did this, or, I quit my job and I put it all into my dream, whatever. But everybody can't do that,
No.
right?
Nope.
I can't quit my job and say, hey, I'm gonna full time do this. Like, I
Absolutely.
can't.
Yeah.
But it's just that entrepreneurs, it's hard sometimes, especially if they have kids. It's
Correct.
hard sometimes for them to focus and put
Hmm.
a lot of time into what they're doing
Yeah.
because they work so much for the
Absolutely.
person that they're working for.
True.
And it's easy for somebody to say, oh, that
Dude.
same 8 hours you put in your 9 to 5, come home and put it into. No, because
Mm-mm.
at the end of the day, it's like if you literally go into work all those hours, and sometimes it's not even 8, it might be 10, then you got
Absolutely.
to come home and make sure your kid or your children
Correct.
have dinner, give them a bath, all that stuff, get them
Yep.
right. By that time, you don't feel like working on what you got going on.
Yeah.
And then the day goes
Cycle
by and
repeats.
another day goes by and another day goes by. Now you done miss days and weeks maybe of not working on your stuff because you're tired. So
Absolutely.
it's like, it's very, very hard.
It is. I'm gonna read this quote by Queen Clean. Queen Clee. It said, I work with Quay. She's phenomenal and her hustle is unmatched. Happy to see her active and making moves within the entertainment industry. Big
Who
kudos
was
to
that by?
Queen Clee.
Okay, okay.
Absolutely. And then we have another one from 15 Fitness that says Facts 100. Oh man, super dope. So the people are tapped in, and I just want to be able to give you the flowers in real time, so you be able to smell them. Let people know
Aw,
that
thank
people are thinking about
you.
you as well. You feel me? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's it's one of those things. So we know entrepreneurship, business. It gets difficult, and we're navigating through it. If we don't have all of the tools, understand that we are resourceful and we can be the resource. So just
right,
utilize what we have and just keep working, grinding, keep chipping at it, because eventually things will open up. We got to become the person for the opportunities to open up. So a lot of times we
right,
miss some of the opportunities because we're not able to recognize them because we haven't became the person yet. So the things that's driving us is that we know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're going to continue to work.
absolutely.
And whoever's out there that's going through some of the same transitions, as far as working at the 9 to 5, can't find the time, coming home, work, clean, cook, still take your children, tired, feet hurting, etc. 11 o'clock at night. Now we got to say, hey, I got to write that proposal for this. I got to write
Right.
this email. Da da da. It gets tough. It gets tough.
Yeah,
I know that we are built to do it because we've been on this journey for some time. And one thing I
yeah,
wanted to mention, because you said you have slowed yourself up for the inconsistency. So you haven't got too fast enough where you want to be at. But one thing I heard too is that the best way to get rich quick is slow. So I want to remind you that even though other things may seem like absorb time and it's moving, We moving at the pace that's conducive to us. Not saying that we don't. We not saying that we shouldn't have fire lit up under us.
Right, right.
So I don't want to get complacent and say that we content on where we are and we don't need to
Yeah,
do more. No, I'm saying that don't get discouraged along our journey, because although there are things that we can do more of,
yeah.
sometimes the quickest way may not be our way to get to where we
Very
need to
true
get to.
too. Yeah.
You know, um,
You be dropping those gems.
I should be I be thinking about them.
Listen, you know I be locked in on Thursdays. You'll be like,
Absolutely.
wait, I got a quote for that. Hold on.
You know what's crazy? Because I consume a lot of information every day. When I go to and from work, I'm throwing on a podcast. I'm listening to something. I was watching something. Me and my mom was building. I took my mother to the doctor today. Shout out to Donna. I love you, mother. I took Mama Love to the doctor today, and me and her were talking, building, because I talked to her all day, and that's my
Yeah,
best. That's my best friend. I give her flowers because I tell her, I'm like, in the midst of whether daddy's around or not, whether friends are friending at the time,
right,
whether people at the job environment are treating you as equal. My mother
right.
never stopped being a mother. And I remind her of that because I'm like, Ma, I don't know if anybody else ever told you that. Whether our dads did, whether your friends tell you, if you never heard it, I'm mature enough at this age to recognize what you have sacrificed for us, and I want to be able to give you your flowers in real time to let you know that I think about it. No matter, I may have some days where I even get frustrated. Me and her may have a
Yeah,
disagreement, argument, whatever it may be. Not really argument because I really don't argue with her, but I
right.
may feel a type of way about a decision that she may say, and 3 weeks later, I come to find out that she's right. She's off of wisdom, right? But the thing is that I talk to her in a manner of letting her know that, hey, mother, if nobody ever told you, you did a hell of a job, because when it came to being a parent, you never stopped being a parent. She's a parent to this day. And it's like, no matter what party she threw, no matter what she had to get up in the work for the morning, no matter if we was in the house playing cards with one another, no matter
Yeah,
finding, my mother never not had been there for us when it came to having a roof over our head, food in that refrigerator, clothes on our back. So I always remind her of that, because it's not an easy task. As we discussed earlier about how we trying to get uh
yeah,
some of this help, and a lot of times the help may not be available. Only people that we dependent on is ourselves in the moment, right? And we say, you know what, I'm gonna do this all by myself, and it gets hard, right?
it
But the
does.
thing is that we have to learn to allow ourselves to be helped too. I was allow ourselves to be coachable, because we can get coached through some of these things just by the shared wisdom, and this is why
That's
we do
true.
this. You know what I mean? You like, we both learn from one another. We learn through our stories. We learn through our trials and our errors, and a lot of things is if we able to shed light on some of our experiences, people like, oh, Quay went through that. How
Yeah,
did she figure it out? Oh, okay, she went through postpartum. What you tell me about that? What did you do? Oh, she did therapy. She got them nails done. She got the hair done. She started
yeah,
pouring more into herself. These are real key moments to where we're gonna get into. I know I'm jumping the gun, but I think about these things in real time, and I want to let you know that your voice is valued. The voices around us that support, that understand, that give us, hey, get the nudging when we need the nudging, and then give us the pat on the back when we need it. And sometimes they don't say
yeah,
anything, just watch us learn and grow through the thing. I think those things are super valuable, because a lot of times we downloaded some bad data, whether it was the school, whether it was the friends, whether it was family members. We download some bad data, and we have the power to change it just by switching our mindset. And once we start learning and growing through these things, listening to things that you never seen perspectives on before, you say, oh wow, this lady was, I was watching something earlier, like I said, me and my mom driving, and we was listening to uh uh she was act I can't, her name is Kelly Griffin. Her father wrote some major hits, right? And like some major hits, she got royalties, etc. Ed Sheeran tried to use her records, etc. But the whole time she was speaking, she was saying, "Listen, I was she was adopted, so her biological parents, her father, her actual biological parents, her father was the one that had written hits, etc. So he got royalties coming in, etc. So she was saying that." the family that she was in her in her biological family, everybody had money because of the dad and the people that she
Mhm.
was around. But she was saying that for like 20 some years, she was addicted to crack. She was selling her body. She's a big advocate of trafficking
Okay.
trafficking. So
Yeah.
she deals with sex trafficking, drug trafficking, all everything dealing with like four different labels of trafficking. And she was
Right.
saying for 20 years she was spending $30,000 a month on drugs and etc. And she said what she learned through all of those trials and error that hey, tomorrow I can make the change. If I decide today I can make the change, I make the change. She been
Right.
20 she, for 15 to 20 years she been clean, and the turnaround is where I'm super super intrigued by because I'm like, if somebody can go through those type of limps of near death experiences, dealing with
Yeah.
walking the stroll, you know what I'm saying, on crack, uh, down and out, just bad, down and out and bad,
Yeah.
and then see her live on Willie D podcast. I'm like, if she can have 20 years of going through these hardships, spending money out the behind, and all of these things. You mean to tell me that I don't have the opportunity? The thing is that I'm
Right.
not being I'm not being resourceful enough. I'm not being the resource. So when I
Yeah.
listen to these stories, they impact me in so many ways to where they're like embedded in my brain. So when I talk about them, I like to give context and give who where I got it from, so people can say, "Oh, where, who? Go check it out." They can go check it out for
You gonna
themselves.
have the source, Johnny.
Absolutely, gotta have a source. Gotta have a source because it's important. When people hear your
Yeah.
story, I want people to know. No, when I was talking to Quay, she guided me on some things that I was super unaware of, even through womanhood. See, I have a stepchild, so I don't have a biological child of my own. So when you talk about co-parenting, and then you said something that mentioned about they even got apps to where you can co-parent on apps, and I'm like,
Mhm.
the world that we living in, that's just being resourceful. You saying, okay, I'm a mother. If things aren't working out and I don't have a mediator, I don't have a third party, whatever's not working, you still try to figure out ways to make sure that you can impact your
Yeah.
child's life and build communication. Um, yes, I'm gonna go. I know I'm jumping the gun, but I'm gonna
It's
go
okay.
back to um, you being pregnant, right?
Mhm.
How was this time for you when you discovered that you were pregnant? Where were you at in your life during this time? So you was already working environment, doing things on your entrepreneurship, career
Mhm.
wise, working, etc. Now you get hit with something that you say you always wanted, which is this child. A child comes into your life. You find out the news. How did you initially feel?
Confused.
Confused.
I listen, Johnny, I don't know why people that have sex be like confused when they get pregnant. Like they wasn't having sex. Like I don't understand. Like how did this happen?
You know
Um,
exactly how it happened.
like what? No, I dead went to the doctor thinking I had COVID. Um,
Mm,
because I was at work and I was like coughing, 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 coughing and everything. And I literally had to leave because I was coughing so bad.
right.
And then my manager was like, okay, whatever. And I went to the ER and it was just allergies.
Oh.
But the nurse was basically like, "Oh, by the way, because I didn't have a feeling, but something just was like, okay, have her check this. Like I was literally getting discharged, and I was like, you
Mm,
know what? Let me ask or whatever." And the lady came back and was just like, "Oh, well, you're pregnant," and it sad because it wasn't good news, and I feel like
mm,
that should be good news,
correct.
and it wasn't. I just I was like confused, and I was just like, okay, and I like cried or whatever. Like I
Yeah.
called my mother, called my best friend, called the father, but I was like crying, and it was so funny because each one of them was like, "Why are you crying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
what the hell?" Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a happy time for me. I wasn't excited.
Were you happy in your life in general at that time?
Um, that's the thing. It wasn't a bad time.
Mm,
It wasn't a bad time in my life.
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad time.
Good
Even
time.
with At the time, even with the dad, like it wasn't like things were horrible with the dad and
Yeah.
none of that. Like I
Right.
just wasn't excited about it until later on. But initially I was just like, again, I was one of those people like, oh gosh, like how did this happen?
Yeah.
Um, but I was also uh, I think I was also kind of confused because I was, I believe, 33 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first pregnancy.
Yeah.
And you know how, like, sometimes all I heard before this, before I got pregnant, all I heard was like, you're 32, you're 33, you don't have any children. That's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be because there are people that honestly are waiting. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they might be waiting for the right person. They might be not in a situation at their time. They might be living a life. But
Right.
I literally heard that. Like,
Yeah.
you're in your 30s. Like, you don't have a kid yet. Oh, that's a red flag. Because why
Mm-hmm.
don't you have a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and even to this day, people say, oh, how old's your kid? Oh, you had him late.
Yeah. As if
Like,
you're supposed to have them at 16.
right. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I wasn't happy, and that's like that was the start of it because you should be happy when you find out news like that, but I was
Next thing
not.
you know. Correct. Um, do you think that mental health and depression plays a role in our lives? I mean, we see it's so prevalent now, and everybody talking about mental health, etc.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever dealt with any of those things during the course of your life?
Absolutely. My entire life. And I think because okay, so when I was younger, I wasn't really a lot of things happened and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the knowledge to
Mm-hmm.
know, like, okay, this is a mental health issue, or you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? But I started reading a lot and talking to a lot of people and stuff like that, and you gain knowledge.
Yeah.
Also, being pregnant and dealing with postpartum and you already deal with depression and have mental health issues, it's just much worse
Yeah.
because now you're dealing with just a whole bunch of, stuff.
Correct.
So that's why I think I dealt with postpartum depression so bad because I already dealt with depression prior to my pregnancy.
So
But
postpartum.
again,
I'm
now I'm
sorry.
more knowledgeable, so I kind of know more. And day by day, even now, I'm still learning more about mental health. But again, when
Correct.
I was younger, I didn't really know too much, so I
Yeah.
didn't. I knew something was wrong sometimes, but I didn't know how to like navigate it.
Yeah. Postpartum so I'm saying we have a lot of men on this show as well, and they hear
Okay.
postpartum. So I want you to not you don't gotta give a whole synopsis on what it is, but just basically for somebody that doesn't have common knowledge when they say postpartum, I want to be able to build the I'm gonna bridge the gap between the man and the female when we hear some of these woman issues, right? Because there's times where um I go through my companion, and she like, "What's that time of the month? Oh, I'm going through X, Y, and Z," and I'm like, "Yo, man, shape up." Like as if like man up. Don't even you know.
Insensitive much?
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I know that there are times where I'm like, go figure that out, because I'm so used to, oh, scrape your knee, get up, wipe it off as a man,
Right.
and a lot of times I want to be able to um understand more and more about the woman and understand what they go through. And sometimes you mentioned that there are sometimes chemical imbalances. There are some things that go on where we may be just out of whack because there's things that are going on inside of our body that are affecting the way we respond and be able to receive things. Sometimes we're not even hearing when people talk to us. We just picking up the sound bites that trigger us. We may hear something where somebody say, you know what, you should go do X, Y, and Z, and somebody else may say, but I told you this yesterday. Told me what? And that's the trigger word that sends you over top. So when we hear postpartum as a man, what should we know about that? As you say, postpartum depression. What should we know about that as a man, or for
You know
anybody that
what?
needs to know?
I do feel, I feel bad for men that have to deal with a woman. have to go through that with
Mm,
them because like you said, a lot of them don't know like what's going on.
yeah.
And like it sucks because sometimes the woman most of the time the woman doesn't know what's going on.
Mm,
Um like you could be crying and don't even know why you're crying.
wow.
Like literally somebody asks you what's wrong, what's the reason, and you do not know. You just
Mm,
know you're sad. And
wow.
it's like you might not want to get out of bed at all, but now you have a new baby, so you have no choice. So you
Mm,
have to get out of bed, but you don't want to get out of bed.
yeah.
Um you could lash out on people, and again if they don't know what's going on you can get into confrontations
Yeah.
because they don't know what you're dealing with. And that's why I feel so bad because I see a lot of stories of women, very sad stories, that I see like on social media and stuff like that, where women kill their babies and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And it's just like there's definitely obviously a mental health issue there,
For sure.
clearly. But a lot of these women are, they just had the baby and they're dealing with postpartum depression and they
Yeah.
don't know how to handle it. I just started seeing a few years ago that people actually talking about postpartum depression on social media and talking about it out loud.
Yeah.
Um, it's just a thing, like, for the most part, if you don't get help, it could be
Mm,
dangerous.
okay.
Um, so like I said, some women don't even know they experienced it. Like they
Wow.
just know they're not feeling, right. And they just know they're depressed and they don't know what it is. There's so many
Yeah.
people that read my book and they came and told me like I went through this, and they had no clue what postpartum depression was.
Correct. Wow. It's powerful. It, so it makes me think about sometimes when women go through things, they go through things in silence, and
Absolutely.
maybe that silence is maybe the killer. It may be that it's surely is the divider because nobody knows what you're going through, and
Right.
you are internally dealing with the situation that's too much to bear. And at that point it's like, well, where do you turn now? You're doing things that's pretty much uncommon to who you normally are, so we think that you're supposed to speak, think, talk, act a certain way in this particular situation, not knowing that there's some imbalances, there's some depression going on, you haven't talked to anyone. Is there something that you would say would be advisable, or some things that you would recommend if somebody ever going through a depressed state? What are some of the things that you think you can offer or tell people that they can look forward to? Because this is a disclaimer, we're not giving clinical advice, we're not giving,
Right.
you know
Right.
what I mean, but we're just saying that there's some of the things that we have experienced and we have gotten through it because we are here clearly today being able to talk about it. If there were some things that you will offer to somebody out there that have been depressed or going through some postpartum, what would you offer?
Just to even go back to you saying like suffering in silence, like I did that a lot.
Mm,
There was people that didn't like that were close, like literally um under the same roof close,
wow.
and they read my book and was just like, I didn't know you were going through this, and I lived with them and saw them every day.
Mm,
um but it's like that's dangerous too. That's why a lot of times when things happen to people or people do things to themselves, whatever the case may be, you always hear people say, "Oh, they was not like that. They wouldn't do that. They were happy." Like you don't know what
don't
they
know.
were like. You know what they showed you. You don't know how they were feeling.
Yep.
Um, I definitely think some people don't believe in therapy,
Mm,
but I know that helped me a lot. But I
for sure.
just know, yeah, some people just don't believe in therapy. And the only reason why I recommend therapy is because a lot of times it's not good to talk to your friends. Like, it's not good
Yeah.
to talk to your friends, your family members, people that know you. Like, with therapy, you can get an unbiased opinion
Correct.
and they will tell you the real. Because a lot
Mm,
of times, your friends and family, they might not want to hurt your feelings. So,
mm,
they don't say certain things, or they might just give bad advice. Like
yeah.
because again, you're close to them. So
Right.
they're gonna, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's definitely you know, and also give yourself grace. That's very important because a lot of people are very, very hard on themselves.
Yeah.
So it's very important to give yourself grace. Like,
Yeah.
take your time. Like, it's okay. Like, people just, they're so hard on themselves. I have to get this done. I have to do this. I have to, like, take your time. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Um, and even like if you're, maybe a religious person, I prayed a lot,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
helped me a lot. And the simple things, believe it or not, when you're depressed, the simplest thing as taking a shower is helpful.
Ooh.
Like, you don't know how great a shower is until you're depressed. I promise you.
So true. So
Um,
true.
but yeah, it's just it's hard. It takes time. Like, you're not gonna get better overnight. Like,
No.
it takes a lot of time, but
Yeah.
it'll get through it.
Absolutely. I love that you shared that because even as men, we are taught to, hey, you bump your knee, get up, wipe it off. And the thing is, um, it's very important to be aware of your emotions because we all have them. And a lot of times when we cut that sensory off, that we don't feel nothing, we just harden and we just callous around everything. We start to put up a wall and build up some level of a facade that we kind of like hidden behind. And then there are times where that wall gets cracked and then we lose it all because we just snap and don't understand that, hey, this was building up over time and got hardened, hardened, hardened to where you start becoming numb. And then one thing that comes through that breaks that mold, now you are distraught and you're not thinking clearly, you're making erratic decisions, etc. I know I've gone through that at times in my life where I take everything in, take everything in, take everything in, take everything in until the point where I can't take anymore and then I'm lashing out. I've seen that. I see myself go through that through conversations. I see myself go through that with family members, people that I don't know, work environments. I've seen it for
Yeah.
me, and I know that as a male and as human beings in general. But I want to specifically talk to the males at this very moment in this portion of the segment because I want to let men know that have a conversation. You're not. I was watching something with the comedian Ali Siddiq, and he said one of the things that allowed him to, because he was on stage and I was watching all his comedy specials, Domino 1 through Domino 4, and there was one part where he was bawling crying because he had lost his sister died of some form of illness. I think it was cancer, don't misquote me, but some along those lines. And she was
Hmm.
young, she was like 12 years old, and he was on
Wow.
stage as a grown man just not too long ago, and you see the tears like just pouring down his face, and I'm like, what will bring him to this point? And he said, let me share with you guys. He said that the environment I grew up in amongst my friends, we was able to have the conversation about anything that happened to us because we supported one another and we loved one another. So when there's something that he said, there are times where I caught or somebody in our group caught sexually transmitted disease and we all going to the clinic together. And I'm like, wow. He said there was time where one of the guys had a boil on his leg or something, and they all sat around because it was one of his friends were barbers, etc. And he was able to cut it out, stitch it up, etc. And he went to the ended up going to the doctor or something, and the doctor said, "Well, who cut this up?" And he said, "My friend." And he went back to his group and said, "Yo, man, I ended up going to the doctor." They said, "Oh man, you went to the doctor. We all give you the advice, and you still went to the doctor." He said, "Yo, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I love you, but I ain't trust you. I ain't know y'all
Yeah.
knew what y'all was doing." But he was saying that he had to build up trust, and his friends, his supporting cast, allow him to do that. Gary Vee says, get around people that love you enough to tell you the truth. And it made me go back to the Ali situation where he was saying that he was not man enough not to cry. If there's something,
Right.
if his tears needed to come out in that moment, he had did that. Whether it was tears of pain, tears of joy, tears of fear, he was able to just to display his emotions and say that I'm human. And sometimes we need to have the conversation around it to say that there are times where we got to put on our big boy pants and big girl skirts and say this one we gotta toughen
Yeah.
up and thug it out because I'm the one that the shoulders need to come and lean and cry on. Then there's the other times where I say, you know what, I'm the one that need the shoulder to lean and cry on. So
Yeah.
it's a constant thing to where we got to get around environments and people that love us enough to tell us the truth and we can be fully transparent so we can help one another because what if a friend knows you, that means that they can just read the body language. You don't got to say a word and they can say,
Yeah.
okay, Shaquasia going through something today, Quay going through something. Or if Johnny quiet, my mom picks it up, my girl pick it up, friends pick it up, they be like, yo Lee,
Yeah.
something ain't right, something's off today. You sure everything all right? I'm good, everything good. No, the way you just I know something ain't good. Whenever you feel like it, let me know, and I'm here for you so we can have a conversation. Because I know whatever it is not that serious. And I'm like, it takes a big weight off my own shoulders to make me feel like, okay, you don't got to be Superman 24/7. You know what I'm saying? You get out the Superman cape and be Clark Kent at times. You feel what I'm saying? I know that we always want to show up as a superhero because our children look up to us, our friends look up to us, our family members look up to us as Quay the super that's a superhero. She's a superhero. There's nothing that she's never going through that she can't figure out. And those are the times where we may need the most support. So having a conversation, like you were
Right.
saying, it's very very important because sometimes we miss out on it. We figure out like you was talking about in your book and you were saying that you was one of those people that did everything on your own. You didn't want no help from nobody until
Yeah.
you came to the point to say, you know what, I need help, and I need to allow people to come into my life to help me. And I think that was such a commendable moment, so much of a learning and teachable moment that you displayed to let people know, hey, although you're strong, independent, single, black woman, this, that, we put all of these,
Yeah.
titles on us, and we have 99 labels, and we feel that we got to show up like that every day. And a lot of times, okay, I don't feel like getting out the bed. I don't want to be all glamour today. I'm coming out with my chicletas on. I'm coming out
Yeah.
with my oversized hoodie, and I'm going to the store. I'm going to bodega. I'm going to the grocery store. This is how I'm just feeling today. I don't feel like getting all glammed up, even though when you're going into certain environments, it's expected from you because of how consistent you were at that one thing. But understand, all these things are labels. When I mentioned Coach Lucky, everything that's outward projection of us all comes from the thoughts and perceptions that we have on the
Yeah.
inside, and that consciousness, that person that you are here inside, is the real you. Everything else is just things that people attach themselves to, even ourselves. This mic, I mentioned it, the mic could be replaced. I could have a different mic on tomorrow. So
Right.
I'm not committed to that one thing that I outwardly put and people connect themselves to. People hold on to old identities of you. People hold on to old conversations that you had. People expect you not to change. And then when you do these things, they say, Quay is acting different. Or you're not the same. Or you're not X, Y, and Z. Meanwhile, these things are normal growth and growth and progressive things that's going on in your life. And if you're not constantly changing, as the world, the only thing constant in this world is change. If you're not
Right.
doing that from the points of where we are in our lives, we like, okay, the same thing from 20 years ago. You love doing that same one thing at that time we were in our life. No pun intended. But I know that when I was 20, I really don't enjoy some of the things that I'm doing now. I don't enjoy. I mean, there's some things that, okay, hanging out with the fellas, cool, but
Right.
I don't. I know that, okay, being responsible, I can't hang out till 4 or 5 in the morning and think I'm gonna have a productive day because there's so many other
Yeah.
things that I have to do that requires my undivided attention. And if I can't show up because I'm laying in the bed yakking for 8 hours of the day when other people may be dependent upon me to show up and do a deed, a service, ship out some merch, do something. How
Right.
how how would that affect me in the near future? So some of the things that we hold on to, I think we get so attached to them. And I want to let us know in general to say that you don't got to be committed to some of those things. No, be you at all times, but you can change too. And don't think that you can't. You got to hold on this identity from when you was
Yeah.
16, 17, because I think it hinder us. It stops the growth.
I agree. And I wanted
Absolutely.
also comment on when you said Like, if you think the person is down and you say, okay, when you're ready, like, letting them know when you're ready, I'm here. That's very important how you worded it, because a lot of times people can be pushy and they want you to talk about it right this moment, and they want to know right this moment what's wrong. And you may not want to talk about it right that moment. So it's like,
Absolutely.
that's a great way to approach it. Okay, just letting you know, like, I'm here when you're ready to
Hmm.
talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The boy was stubborn. The boy was stubborn. I was stubborn in a lot of ways, and I had to learn. I had to learn. I had to learn. Oh, I had to learn. I swear. When it comes to some of the places that you want to be in your life, what do you think? If you define happiness, it's just random. If you define, what does happiness look like to you?
I don't know. I never had it. No. Um Honestly, I think I would be happy if I was just able to live my life how I want to live it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right now, for example, I can't do that. So it's like, live my life how I live it, meaning if I choose to stay in bed all day,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I can do,
Correct.
because, I can do whatever I want. Um, if I want to go out and buy this expensive whatever, like, I don't even have to think twice because I got it. Like,
Absolutely.
so I think for the most part, yeah, happiness would me be able to live my life on my terms.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. It's powerful. Because a lot of time,
Soon.
yeah, I like that though, and I'm glad you mentioned it. I mean, in the context and explained it the way you did as well, because a lot of times we get caught up in uh uh the Instagram life, right? We look at
Yeah.
the baller, the shot caller, the money flowing, and me knowing that at the end of the day, we looking at it and perceiving it as if they living like that every day, and then we start to do the comparison model to where am I really that cool against somebody that has the million followers? What are they doing different? Or do I have to change who I am in order to acquire the thing that they have? And a lot of times we can get caught up in trying to figure out, well, where does my happiness lie? Is my happiness um embedded in the choices that I make that bring me real fulfillment? Or do I gotta look like I'm happy to have the nice car, to have the money, to have the IG model guy or girl? Um, and do I have to have all of these materialistic things to perceive the people as if my life is all peaches and cream? Because we know that's what they push out there.
Um, Most of the people that are doing those things aren't happy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've learned that if you seek validation, you're not happy. Like,
Mm.
these people that feel they need to show every and of course, being in this industry, I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like, these people that get on social media and they show all these expensive things and all this whatever. There's so many different scenarios. Most of them are broke, number
Mm-hmm.
one. Okay. They
Mm-hmm.
want to put a perception up because they're seeking validation from the
Mm-hmm.
people that are following them.
Correct.
Also, even with relationships, most of the time, when you see certain couples doing the most, those are usually the couples that are not happy in their relationship.
True, 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 true.
Like, it's just, if you really pay attention and you see the people doing the absolute most, it's usually something not right.
Something not right.
Because it's like, you don't have to seek validation. And a lot of times the people that move in silence, those are the people. Like,
Yeah.
I see people that literally have like 1,000 followers. Because people are out here buying followers, let's be
Correct.
clear.
Yep, yep.
To look a certain way, the
Absolutely.
perception, so
Absolutely.
they want to say, okay, I'm gonna buy these followers. So, you could think I have a lot of followers. But
Right.
I know plenty of people that literally have 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
And this might be the person that's with Jay-Z every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And you might go to their page and be like, oh, they not important because they just got 1,000 followers. No. And then you have the people that have 20,000 followers, 30,000 followers, and then, they bought a lot of their followers
Right.
or, whatever. So it's just all about perception. And
Yeah.
it makes me think of a funny story. A few years back, I was
Mm-hmm.
working a overnight job. So
Yeah.
again, all my jobs I've had, I never tell the people at my job like anything about, they call it a
Mm.
secret life, but I don't call it secret life. I just don't tell you my business. So I
Absolutely.
never go into the jobs telling them like, yeah, I do interviews and I went with this
Ab-
person. I don't talk nothing. Like all they
yep.
know is I work at that job and that's it. I don't add them on social media,
None
nothing.
of that. Absolutely.
So this specific job, I worked overnight. And I had this one guy that had, for some reason, asked me for my social media, and I made a mistake and gave it to him. So
Mm.
now he has me on social media. So during the day, um, Meek Mill was having something for like his charity or whatever the case may be in Philly, right?
Mm.
So I literally went out to Philly, went to his charity event. I'm in my social media. I got pictures with Meek, I got pictures with Rick Ross, I got pictures with all these people on my social media, right? And head back to go to my overnight job.
Correct.
Soon as I walk in the door, this guy's like, you came to work today? You was just in Philly with Meek Mill and Rick Ross. Like, why do you work here? Whatever. And I'm just like, see, that's the perception.
Yep.
People
Absolutely.
think, oh, you rich because they
Mm-hmm.
see you with these people and,
Mm-mm.
all this stuff. And again, I've always been so tight lipped. Like, I'm not a
Yeah.
bragger.
No.
So when people find out certain things, they're like shocked. But it's just like, I don't go around saying, yeah, I do this, I did this, I work with this person, because that's just not me.
It's not
But
you.
I say all that to say, he just couldn't believe that I worked there. He kept asking me, why do you work here? Like, and he's telling the whole place, do you know she was just in Philly with Rick Ross and Meek Mill, and now she's here at this place? And it's just like, bro.
When you
But
talk
the
about
perception.
perception, when you talk about charity work, right, and you're always showing up for that, what does that mean to you? Why do you feel you need to give back so much? Because you do. You do a lot
Be-
of give backs. You do a lot.
yeah, because I'm super grateful.
Yeah.
Um, like super grateful, especially with my son and my pregnancy. With my pregnancy, I got so, when I say so much stuff, like for my
Yeah.
son, between, my family, my friends, his other side of his family, like I got a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
And I started being in a lot of mom groups and stuff like that. And I would see moms that would be like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna feed my baby today.
Mm.
And, they'd be like, oh, as soon as I told the father that I was pregnant, he just disappeared and I never saw him again. Oh, I
Wow.
don't have any family. As soon as my mom found out I was pregnant, she threw me out. I don't have nowhere to live. Now I'm on the streets with a newborn baby. And
Whoa.
it's like I saw all these stories in real time. And I would help a lot of them out. And that's again, like I did all this stuff and I was never on social media saying, yeah, I just took this to this mom and, gave this mom whatever, whatever, because it's like, no, it's not about that. It's like I would want somebody to help me. So I literally started, helping all these moms and just started seeing different things and it opened my eyes. So it's like I'm just super, super grateful because there's a lot of people that really have messed up situations.
Yeah.
And so that's why I help people a lot because I just like you don't understand like people really be down and out and they don't have nobody to help them. And I always think about like if I was in this situation, I would want somebody to help me. Like, you know what I'm
Indeed.
saying? So that's why I just always try to, you know, um, do different give backs and stuff like that because I'm super, super grateful.
Super. The word super.
Yeah.
Supermom Mission Inc. Let's talk about that. What is the? I know it's a nonprofit organization, but explain
Uh-huh.
to me, where did the creation come from? Where the what's going on? I want to know about the Supermom Mission
So,
Inc.
Supermom Mission, I launched it December 2023. I actually launched it the same day as the book.
Ah,
Um, yeah, the same day. And Supermom came about because I just felt like moms are like superwomen. Like
absolutely.
they literally like, and I'm just speaking from my experience, like you could be really, really sick and you still taking care of your kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can go to
Correct.
work. I've went to work, did doubles, not feeling good, still came home, took care of my son, went back to work. Like
Mm,
women are just really super women.
absolutely.
And you know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? And not for nothing, there's a lot of good dads out there. Let's be very, very
For sure.
clear. There's a
Absolutely.
lot of amazing dads, even
Yes.
single
Yes.
dads, right?
Absolutely.
Um, but the things I've seen women take on,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, a man would fold if he had to do that.
Under that pressure.
Like, no lie. Like a man would really fold. And I'm
True
talking
D.
about the things I've just went through.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah,
man
yeah.
would fold.
Yeah.
So that's how Super Mom came about. And yeah, and I just really started that because, like I said, I saw a lot of bad situations
Yeah.
with moms, and I wanted to help them out as much as I could. And it don't even stop there with just like, maybe helping them with money or whatever. It's mental health too. So like
Yes.
even now I'm working on bringing in like mental health professionals and stuff like that
I like
because
that.
it's a lot of them out there, that struggle with mental health stuff. And again, unfortunately, if the mom is not happy, she can't
Mm-hmm.
be good to the kid
Not at all.
because you know what I'm saying? Um, so that's another thing that's very, very important. If the mom is not happy, she cannot be good to the kid. Um,
Absolutely.
so so that's how Supermom Mission came about. And yeah, so I'm just like, giving back as much as I can, collaborating with people to
Mm-hmm.
um what next thing August, the sneaker drive. That's the
Sneaker
next
drive.
thing.
Let's get it. Absolutely. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Unpack that a little bit.
So Sneaker Drive came about because I reached out to our friend Boob,
Absolutely.
um,
Slim, what's up,
because
my
I
boy?
see he does a lot of work
All
around, and
day.
I was like, I want to collab with him on
Come
something.
on. Yes, yes.
So I reached out to you actually to reach out to
Absolutely.
him
Get
for
this
me.
mat. Absolutely.
Yes, and and I was just like, I want to do something with you because I
True
see
indeed.
like, you got good thing, or whatever, whatever. So we talked about like what we want to do, and that was one of the things that he's been wanting to do. So I was
Absolutely.
like, okay, so let's do it or whatever.
Lock it
So
in.
in August, and we've collected a lot of sneakers so far,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot. um and it's from babies up until adults, and
Absolutely.
we basically collecting lightly used and new
Yep.
sneakers, and we're going to distribute them the end of August in Glen
Yep.
Cove. And
Absolutely.
yeah, that's going to be something special.
I'm super, super pumped and ecstatic. That's the
And I gotta
beauty.
have some respectfully great to
Come,
wear at the
come on,
sneaker
that's
drive.
mandatory. That is mandatory. You know that. We in the building. Absolutely. That's the beauty of collaboration. And the thing is, when you see that when you see that dynamic within our community, it's special because there are a lot of our environment, a lot of our thinking is like dog eat dog. What is mine. What is yours is mine. You can't have none of
Right.
mine, and it's a self-centered ideology that we take on because we
Yeah,
feel like if we give a little bit of something, that means that I will have nothing, even when it comes to information, when it comes to our possessions, when it
that's
comes
true.
to yeah. So when I witness it in real time and I see these dots connecting, I'm super super static, and I understand and know that that's where the real power lies at in building community, building alliances, building friendships, because friendships, they don't go, they don't, when you build those type of resources, they don't go anywhere. And even though you may lose one or two depending on what bridge may get burnt, but ideally when you establish a relationship, it tends to last a very, very long time. How you use it is
Yeah.
going to be, to your discretion, but it's powerful to witness it in real time.
I must say this though. Um, it's collaboration is very important because unfortunately, um, you will see African Americans don't like to collaborate a lot at times because they're trying to compete
Yes.
against people that they should be collaborating with.
Yep.
And you see other cultures, I'll say, and other races that they'll get together and they'll make some money,
Absolutely.
okay? And won't feel no type of threatened by it.
Nope.
But us, it's like, no, like you see it as competition. I don't want to partner with him. I don't want to
Yep.
partner with her. I'm going to go against. They'll even do the same thing when they
Yep.
could have just did it together
Together. Absolutely.
because I'm
Absolutely.
all about collaboration.
Yeah, that is one of your super strengths as well, because you've been doing this. Cause I mean, your PR work in general. I'm like, you do that naturally. It's just like when
Yeah.
you see something that's going on, you go and you support it, and I think that is super, super commendable attribute, because a lot of times we are in our own way, and that's why I think that the doors are gonna continuously open for you, because you always willing to go out there and support. And even though sometimes you may feel like, as much as I support, I may not receive,
Yeah.
even though you're not looking for validation, even though we're not looking for the acceptance letter to say, hey,
Right.
I did this. But the thing, it would be nice to say, you know what, it I want this to feel worth something, as well as I know I'm doing it from the kindness of my heart. But if I could do this every day, support my family of it, from it, I know I'll be able to
Yeah.
pour more into it. Because if I go and put another 8 hours into somebody else's dream, imagine I've had that other 8 hours on my own
Yeah.
shift, and I could do twice as much work. So a lot of
Yeah.
times we look at these things and say, if I could get over this hump, if I could make another business transaction, if I could do another one, two of these things, or get consistent, or do some level of automations, if I could just keep doing these other things, I know that other doors will open up. So I know it feels like sometimes it can feel like a little bit of a frustration, but the thing is, the constant reminder of these doors are going to open up regardless, because we are becoming the person that's going to be able to receive, even though people may not say nothing. People watch. People, they're people are watching, and they're going to continue to
Absolutely.
watch, and they want to see how much you're able to show up. And a lot of times it may be the person that you least expected, never heard of, nothing, and they say, Quay, I've been watching you for the last 10 years, and you showed up every time, and I got an opportunity. It may not be no it may not be no money, but it may be a connection or a relationship that's built, that give you alliance to make millions, or be able to support the things that you say you want to. Okay, if I want my happiness, I'll be able to support my family, complete my mission, do this every day, wake up, love, support, spread that love, build these alliances. If I'm able to do that, and maybe that one relationship away, one introduction to a person or to a thing, or shown something, a skill set developed. I mean, one of those things, and in due
Yeah.
time, it's going to happen if we continue to be on our mission and don't lose sight of it. Because a lot of things trying to take us away from that. It's going to be people, places, and things that always come in between to remove you from getting to where you trying to go. And you said, oh, I'm glad we're here. You had mentioned something years ago, in like 2018, and something along the lines where you said, be careful who you share, um, be careful who you talk to, be careful who you share your dreams with, because, hold up, I have, ah,
He
you
going.
make,
I was like, he gonna find that quote and source it.
yeah, I ain't gonna find it and source it. I
Cause you
have
got
it.
me over here like, what did I say,
I'm gonna
Johnny,
tell
and
you,
when?
I got it. I got it. I know I got it. Here it is. I got it. This is exactly what you said. I ain't want to go into the jack, but that's where I'm going to the Rolodex. This is exactly what you said. You said privacy is power. What people don't know, they can't ruin. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Privacy is
Listen,
power. What people don't know, they can't ruin.
I'm a
It.
very private person.
Ooh. When you share a big dream to a small mind, it kills it. So a lot of times we can't share some of the things about where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do, because there are people, places, and things that are looking to stop you because of
Absolutely.
the impact that you can make. Like I watch now, they got all these things about Nipsey Hussle, right? And when the man was alive, so powerful, the man's not here to defend himself, and they stamping him with all these allegations about his manhood, etc. And I'm looking at these things like how disgusting people are.
Yeah.
People are willing to do anything to tear you down at any cost,
And it's like
and
he's not here anymore. So why
he's
are
not
we
here
talking about
anymore.
this?
That's my whole thing. And I'm looking at these things like how much do we see this in our communities? How much do we see, okay, if I share this idea, how many people try to deter you from it?
Yeah.
That's not going to work. It's the first thing they say. They haven't done it. They don't know what it takes to get it done. The first thing they say is that you can't do it, because what happens is once you be able to succeed at it, then there's no excuse that the reason why they can't do it. And
Yeah.
their whole lives, people buy excuses and handicaps on why they can't get things accomplished. So they constantly, shit on other people and say that that
Yeah.
person is not qualified to do the job. They can't do the job. He look like that. She look like that. They wear this. They wear that. Oh, that would never work until it works. And then the
Until it
excuses
works.
till it works. And then now the excuses on why they can't get to where they get to, they don't have it anymore. So a lot of people
Yeah.
like to keep these trump cards in their pocket and hold on to crutches and deter you from getting to where you need to get to, because they no longer can use the excuse. So when I
Yep.
seen that about that privacy, be private with some of these things, because people will come up and try to ruin that. And it may look like you, the person may look like you, talk like you, same ideology, quote unquote, share the same ideas, quote unquote, not knowing secretly they trying to demolish everything you try to build up.
And you
I
don't
seen
need the
that quote.
negative energy.
Nope.
Sometimes when you tell people your ideas, you get a whole bunch of negative energy, and like you don't need that. You just,
Yep. Absolutely. We have two quotes. Elizabeth says, "That's because you genuinely wanted to do that. That's beautiful." Fit King Finish says, "That's all they do is watch. Have to have that drive no matter what, when, where, or why." Absolutely.
You
You
ever
got
see something that you post and you got like 100 views and you got 13 likes and you like, oh really? So the rest of y'all didn't care to like this? Y'all didn't like it, haters? Like, really?
all the time. You know what's so crazy? I had to get over myself. So you know what allowed me to even be able to post more, because I was one of those people, right? I was one of those people that felt like I had to have the right outfit. I had to have the right message. I got to be standing on top of the mountain drinking an Evian water like this, right? I felt I had to do everything perfect. And then once I started to say, you know what? Regardless if they hit the like button or not, they saw it.
They
And
saw
my
it.
they saw it. So my thing is, this post I get 0 likes. This post I get 20 likes. When I look at the other numbers of seeing how many actually peeped it, sometimes it's three. Made no difference. No matter the number. What I'm saying is that every day, if I don't post, I reach nobody. So whether I get one person that witnessed it,
Exactly.
I did my job. And that allowed me to constantly post, because I was super self conscious about having the right looks to everything. Once I got out of my own way, posting, I post about anything. Now, not
And
saying that
some
I
of them
don't
will view more than once and still won't like it. You be like,
still won't like it.
okay,
Okay.
really?
But you see it on Meek Mill page. They like it Meek joint. They don't even know you.
Listen, they
They like it Diddy
commented
joint. They
under
get
his
they go
thing.
crazy. They go crazy. Yo, man, it's a funny game, man. People don't want to let you know that they see, but they do. And at the end of the day, if they're in denial, like you said, that's not my client. Ideally,
Yeah.
if you got to support me in private when nobody's watching and looking, I don't want
Yeah.
you to show up. I want the people that's willing to show up and to say, you know what, I f with like how you showed up today with respectfully great on. You say no, I respect you. I respect your brand.
Yes.
I support you. You doing this in real time in public, and those are the things that matter to me. I don't want the other clients. I want people to show up like you showing up, and that matters, because I know at the end of the day, I don't gotta fight them on price. I don't gotta fight them on the look.
Right.
I don't gotta fight. Why? Why do I gotta sit there and fight and tell you like the discount? You're not going to Gucci asking for the discount. You're not
Nope.
going to elsewhere to do. You're not asking them for that. Whatever that number is, whatever that price is, you're gonna pay that. They're not cutting you no slack on the candy bar, no nothing. They're not doing that. But when it comes to us, we don't get that. But it's okay, because everybody's just not our clients. We just
It's
stating the
okay.
obvious, you know. And these are the things that we gotta constantly remind ourselves on who we are, what we stand for, and ideally, what our mission is, and we're gonna go out there and complete that. Um, oh man, it's been such a beautiful conversation. There's so
Yes, you
much.
made me cry a few times.
I wish I have it. Is
It's a
there
good cry.
absolutely? Is there anything that you wanted to get across? If we missed anything that you just felt like you wanted to say today, um, anything that you thought of to say, you know what, I want to.
Nope, you covered all the bases, Johnny. Um, no, I'm you know what? No, not really. I just want to say thank you for having me.
Absolutely, sis.
I have some stuff coming soon.
Please
Like I
let
said,
us
I'm
know.
doing the get a clothing drive in
Absolutely.
August, but I do have stuff dropping before then, that I'm
Yes.
working on.
Correct.
Um, secret.
Yeah. Hello. Shh. Ain't hear nothing. Ain't say nothing. When the time is
But
right.
yeah, but I do have stuff dropping soon, very, very soon. And yeah, that's really it. Support your people, support who
Absolutely.
supports you for sure.
Absolutely. How about we do
Because,
this?
not for nothing, I there's been plenty of people that I would like support, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't support at all. So it's like,
Mm-mm.
and sometimes I used to feel bad, but it's like now I learn like you
Yeah.
support who supports you. Like
Absolutely.
that's it. Like it don't
That's
matter
it.
who it is. Like
Nope.
support who supports you.
True indeed.
Because again, they're gonna go and support all these people they don't even know,
For sure.
but they know you and you know what I'm saying? So definitely support who supports you is very, very important. And
Yes. Yes.
that's all I got.
Well, I'm asking you for one favor. When the
Okay.
time is right and you ready to drop, um, when you ready to drop and introduce to the world the new, business venture that you got going on, come back on the platform so we can talk about it.
Well,
Talk about it.
I'll tell you this.
Yes.
I'll
Please give
tell
us
you
some.
this
Yep. Yep.
because it's you.
Yes.
I actually very, very soon I am coming with a podcast.
Come on. Let's hold up. What horn at? Hold up. Hold on. There's something else I'm missing. Hold up. Come on, like flex it here.
Come on, sound
Let's go.
effects.
Come on.
No, yeah,
Let's
very, very,
go.
very soon.
Yes. Yes.
Launch a podcast. It's been a long time coming though, because it's just like people been asking, and again, I told you about my consistency earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm getting better with that. But no, I'm dropping very, very soon. Interviewing some of your faves,
Let's go.
and also bringing in people too that I know you're definitely coming on it too.
Let's do it.
And
And I'm down. I'm ready there.
yeah, but the trailer for that is dropping very, very soon.
Yes. Yes. And let people.
And
I
yeah,
want to let people know you was doing this combos with Quay. If they don't know, we gotta remind
yes,
this. This is what you was doing. If they don't know, this is what you was doing some
yeah,
time ago too. They
long
don't know.
time
Like
coming.
yeah. So
Yeah,
this she been doing this already though. The podcast thing. This ain't nothing new. It's just, I mean, y'all
I was
gonna
gonna
get
say
introduced to it.
before that, and that's the thing though. You have to understand, I'm still considered an underdog,
Mm-hmm.
even though I've been doing it for a long time. Still considered an underdog because I haven't been so consistent,
Yeah.
and it sucks sometimes. But I have nobody to blame but me.
Yeah.
So now, gonna be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Convos with Quay, the podcast, coming very, very soon,
Come on.
and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be
Let's
great.
go. Oh
And
man, I'm
yes,
super
Mr.
pumped.
Reed has to make an
My my
appearance.
bad. You know I'm there. I'm already there. It's
Yes.
been a wonderful experience. I'm glad we were able to um
Yes.
talk the way we talked, to be able to um, bridge some of the gaps, some of the questions. I know this are the questions that I've seen right here. I know on Instagram, I wasn't over on the gram because I gotta get another screen set up so I can read what's on Instagram.
Right,
At the
right.
same time, because everybody that showed up on the comments that I read are actually on YouTube. So these are the personnel that
Okay.
commented on YouTube. But the gram, it's always so many more questions and
Right,
more
right, right.
interaction. I'm gonna get another by next time. I should have get another monitor or something and be able to, navigate that in due time. We get it right, no rush, because we here, we
Yes.
ain't going nowhere. But
Well,
ideally,
I'm here. Now I have to go
absolutely,
be a
sis.
mom. Hooray.
Yep. So happy.
Yes, go be a
Right.
mom. What time is it? 8:39.
8:30. Disclaimer for the people out there: if there's anything that we said that ruffled your feathers, that made you upset, understand we did it all from the context of trying to help, not hurt. We shared our sentiment, we shared our stories, we just gave context to the things that we've experienced, showing what we have gone through, and hopefully this could be a testimony somewhere along the lines in your life to help you, not hurt. So if you have any questions, please contact Quay. What you need to do is go run that book up. You see what's going on right here? Tell them where they can find the
Yes.
book at, sis. The
You
Joy of My
can
Pain.
find the book on supermommission.com. You can always, also, you could DM Quay to start as well. Um,
Absolutely.
I'm not funny style. I talk to people because people people be thinking, no, I talk to people. Like, DM me, I talk that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Please go support that. Run those numbers up. Come out
And go get
August.
some respectfully great
Respect. Come on, loved
merch.
ones. Come on, let's do it. Sis, it's been a super static session. I love you. I
Thank you for
appreciate you coming
having
on.
me.
It's been wonderful. Continue to be a super mom. Continue to go out there, complete that mission. Don't let nobody stop you. People, places, nor things. And you got this completed. I commend you for your journey. I'm
Thank
I'm
you.
ecstatic to see where you're going. I'm gonna be there in support, and I'm rooting for you. You know that anytime you need me, I'm there. That's without nothing said. You
Yes.
know that. But I want to tell you in real time. So when you say this on public platforms, people are held accountable. So if Johnny don't show up, people look at Johnny and say, "Oh, you said, hey, my boy, you said you're gonna show up, and
And
you ain't show."
thank you also for you couldn't make the gala and you still
Yes,
donated. Thank you so so
absolutely.
much for
Oh,
that too.
absolutely. Yep, no doubt. You know that. Sis, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward
Yes.
to seeing you soon. And I'll definitely be out there in August. You dig?
Yes. See you soon.
Yes, love. Man, that was a super dope conversation. My sister was in the building. Please go out there and run those numbers up. Go support. Support is free. Support is free. Yes, yes.